welcome to another Las Vegas NBL Now, and I'm excited for this one because New Zealand Breakers fans, you've heard a bit about the new ownership since everything took over, but we're here with Marc Mitchell in Las Vegas, and we're going to learn a little bit about you. Firstly, Las Vegas, I don't even know what day it is anymore, but how are you enjoying the Summer League experience?
That's typical Las Vegas, right? It's been great. It's been better than even expected. I was telling Dylan that I grew up in L.A., and the Summer League used to be at Loyola Marymount. It was basically glorified pickup games. And now this thing is an incredible production. So on the court, all the games, but everything around it, so many people are here doing business, and we've had a really productive week.
We are going to continue to talk about that because you are here shopping on a professional manner, trying to get some players to complete this New Zealand Breakers roster. But learning more about you, can you tell, perhaps for all the other NBL fans out there, I know New Zealand fans now have a good understanding of where you've come from, but just a bit about your background.
Yeah, so I grew up in Los Angeles, grew up a basketball fan. Still am a Lakers season ticket holder, even though I've been living in New Zealand. So I came up watching Magic Johnson, and that really shaped, my love of basketball. I then went to Stanford in the Bay Area, went to law school in New York, stayed in New York for 10 years, and really worked in technology and media, the record business, digital content, and then that was capped off by what I'm doing now in venture capital, so investing in technology and media. At the same time, my family and I moved to New Zealand 5 years ago during COVID, because of COVID. We probably wouldn't have moved there but for COVID. So, silver lining of a tough time, we moved there and, I built some other businesses there in New Zealand, but the Breakers were always something I was paying attention to, and I'm excited to now be at the helm of it, something that, I think we'll have in our family the rest of our lives. We want to build for New Zealand. We love New Zealand. My wife is a dual citizen. That's actually our initial connection to the country. So we have we want to represent the country.
When you first went down there during the COVID moments and you talk about seeing the Breakers, obviously you love your basketball, did you think then, like, oh, that's something I could get involved in sooner rather than later? Or did you just kind of take it as it came and then it slowly build over the years?
A little bit of both. I think, I was always watching and got to know the Blackwells, for example, Tom Abercrombie, Dylan Boucher, all of Corey Webster, so many of the greats of the past of the Breakers. And we always talked about if we're able to get this thing, how we would do things differently, right? And so that's the plan that we're putting into play now, and I'm happy with the start. And, there's a lot more coming. So, we're off to a good start, but we're looking at this as a long-term proposition. We want to be successful on the court. We want to be successful off the court. And this is for not just for right now. This is for the future. This is we are the cornerstone club in New Zealand, and that's really an important responsibility that we take seriously.
The Breakers have probably dealt the harshest hand of anyone when the COVID times hit, in terms of trying to continue to play in the NBL, living in Australia, away from the family. Recent times have been tough, albeit there was a championship series in there a couple of years ago. How long did you have to go back into the archives to realise that it wasn't too long ago where you talk about winning and getting to a championship series, people just penciled New Zealand Breakers in at the start of the year because they were always going to be there?
Well, that's what we're trying to get back to, right? You look at the success, 4 championships, it's hard. It's hard to win one, right? So winning 4, I think obviously on the court, that's where you achieve that, but it is the foundation. It is the organization and how it's run. So I had those conversations with players that go way back, and we've tried to implement some of those philosophies, and of course update them as well, but so that this place feels like a family, this place feels like a winning culture, right? And that's in our front office too, with the players. So I think we're capturing that, and everybody seems to be very excited. So again, off to a good start, but still so much more to do.
Yeah, I loved even just listening to the press conference when everything started, when you took over, about bringing the community back and going on this journey together. And I look back on, I think it was 2018 when I was playing, and there was Kirk Penny was retiring, and there was a game that they finished and everyone started to do the haka, and our players, New Zealand players, went down there. Paul Hanare jumped in as well, but the emotion and the Blackwells were there afterwards. And that's something that stood out to me. I was like, this place is special. Do you feel that sense of it? It's starting to build again?
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, Kirk is one of those people that I consulted over the years. I can't tell you how many times he was at my house. We were talking about, what this thing means, right? I understand it now, but I had to learn that.
Yeah.
I had to understand what was so important to the people of New Zealand about this team. So yes, I get it, and we're focused on it. We're working. I don't want to, share all the surprises yet, but we're working with the community and some special people in the community to get back to a lot of those roots. We have a unique culture in the country, but I think it's an advantage. And I've talked to so many people over the years who said, back in the day when we used to play the Breakers, we were scared.
Yeah.
Right? And you don't hear competitive people say that or admit that. They say, you guys would play differently. You were playing for more, right? You had a chip on your shoulder because you represented the whole country. And that's a lot of what we're trying to get back to. You see that with our signings initially, right? And that'll continue.
Getting the Black Holes back involved, but also some key people like Dylan, like Tom Abercrombie. It seems like when you thought, you know what, we're going to have a go at this. We want to become part of the Breakers. We want to take this club forward, build it back up. Were you nervous at all that maybe they don't want to come back too soon just because it has been a rough period? Or were you very confident, you know what, they're going to see the vision here?
No, because we built our own relationship, and I'm leaning on them. They're great people. Everybody knows that. They're busy people, so they're not in there day to day, but they're advisors, right? It would be foolish of me to not call on Paul, Liz, like we mentioned, Kirk, Dylan, Tom, Corey. There's so many people who've been along this journey who want nothing but the best for this club. And so we're trying to tap into that.
You talk about now building that roster, but building in all the community. We're getting closer to NBL 26. But the key thing that I think got Breakers fans so excited for this year is that everyone loves Parker Jackson Cartwright. And it was a key focus you were very open about. We want to bring Parker back and we want him to see the vision we're going on. It seems like he understood that from the jump. And although it took time, and everything takes time in the professional landscape, to get him locked in for multiple years is just huge.
It is. I tell Dylan and Cop this all the time. I will never meddle in basketball decisions. I am a fan. I love basketball, but that's what they do, and they do very well. With this one, though, there was no way in the entire world that I was going to let this guy go, right? He represents what we want on the court, tough. He plays. He's a lot of fun to watch. Off the court, he's an interesting guy. He's a smart guy, right? He's a leader. And then we had this LA connection, and I looked at my guys. And I said, "There's no way I'm losing a guy from LA who loves being in New Zealand, absolutely loves Auckland, loves New Zealand." So not only did we want to sign him, we wanted to sign him for a longer term period, and we want to continue to build that relationship. I think anytime you have a chance to sign an MVP candidate, you got to do it, right? It sounds obvious, but we had to do whatever we could to get this guy to come back. And it's been amazing because, again, he's got this passion for the country, and as we continue to get to know him, he's a great, great person.
Learning a bit more and hearing about who you are as a person now, I'm fascinated to see who you are as the owner during a season. Where are you going to be sitting? Are we going to see the animation on the courts? What are we going to get from you in this?
I will be on the floor, but I'm not the type who will be yelling at the refs and throwing things. No, I'll be close to the action, and I think that I'll be able to settle in as a fan, and I will not be a distraction or an embarrassment. I promise you that.
I love the perspective that where you've come from. You talk about growing up with the Lakers and having season tickets there and growing up around basketball. When did the NBL come on your radar initially?
It's a great question, and I have a very, very specific time. I was on holiday in New Zealand at the time, December 2019, and it was the year that LaMelo Ball and R.J. Hampton were playing in the Next Star program. And I read an article on ESPN.com about the growth of this league, and it was intriguing. And I was there, on vacation, so I didn't want to be worried too much about business things, but I just couldn't get it out of my mind. So I kept digging deeper, and that's when it really clicked. And on that same trip, I actually went to a game, and to see a full Spark Arena, incredible, right? So oftentimes with some of the international leagues, you don't know where they fit in the hierarchy, but it was clear that the NBL was a force to be reckoned with, that the trajectory was incredible, and something I wanted to be a part of.
Well, that's from 2019, and we look at it now in 2025, heading towards NBL 26, and it's changed so much since then as well. So
Sure.
just looking at that period and being a businessman, but also being so involved in sports, what's impressed you the most?
The long-term vision, right? I think there have been times, if you take the media deal, for example, where there were chances to do media deals in this case that maybe would have paid a little bit more in the short term. But with ESPN being a partner, we're now viewable across the world, right? So building those fans and building those eyeballs, that kind of long-term vision is really, really important. And I've seen that in many different ways, and that's what's been a big part of my excitement for being part of this league.
I've said it over the recent weeks is I know the signings are coming in, but since you've taken over and just the vision of everything that the Breakers are now going on, it is a super exciting time. So I want to leave you on this is telling all the Breakers fans maybe what excites you the most about just this first year in particular, because we know what you're building towards, that sustained success, the culture to get back to what it was and even improve the incredible success you've had. It's going to take time to get to 4 championships again and all that, but the first year, the small short-term goal, what do you want to have?
September 19th, right? Like, a full Spark Arena on our opening game. I think that obviously we still have a little bit of work to do this week at Summer League. We got 2 more imports to nail. I think we feel good about that. But we've put together a core on the court that's going to be very competitive. We're here to win championships. I mean, that is the goal every year. So I think we're going to put ourselves in position to be in that conversation. But this year, though, starting the season at home, our fans are incredible, right? So I just can't wait to be with them and to hear Spark loud and proud. We talk a lot about Back in Black. So Back in Black, loud and proud, right? We'll be there. And, the response has been amazing from the fans, and I just can't wait to see them all together.
I want to get over to a game there because, especially in recent years, since the Tasmanian Jack Jumpers got in, everyone talks about going down to Tassie. It is a one-on-one atmosphere. But this year we saw the Allura Hawks. When they were going nuts, those fans are crazy. Every venue has its own niche. Yeah. Spark Arena is that.
Yeah.
And to get back to that and what it was, it is super exciting.
Again, when you talk to people about the history, right, that's one of the first things that comes up, how great Spark is when it's really rocking. And so, we've sold more memberships this year than all of last year already, right? We're going to continue to build that. I want to have that core fan base, but then all the new people, right? If you haven't been to a Breakers game, come see what it's all about. So, being together with those fans, there is nothing like being together in an arena, right, for a game, and that's what excites me so much.
I can't wait, and I know you got some more shopping to do. Thank you so much for this, and we'll catch up in a couple of days, I'm sure.
All right, thanks, Pete.